Welcome. Sorry. Right. Welcome to YTV here from Hartlepool on the headland. Should have been the other way around, actually.
The Young'uns!
Hello.
Oh, it worked! We've time to perfection
Yes.
there. Excellent.
Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. It's wonderful to be back.
Anyway, enough about my operation.
We are the Young'uns, and this is episode 1 of YTV. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. If you're trying to get to us on YouTube, we've had a little technical fault. We're working on it.
We've already been banned by Google.
And thank you so much to
We
everyone.
should point out, if people are trying to watch us on another platform, they're probably not, because they're currently watching us on Facebook, which is presumably fine.
Yes.
It's the people who can't watch us that we should be
That we
talking
need to get to, yeah.
But we can't talk to them.
Because they can't hear us.
Because they can't hear us, or see us,
right.
but never mind. Anyway.
But thank you to you if you have donated in particular to help us come back after a long absence. This is the first episode of 1 of 5 that we're definitely making every month up until Christmas. And we're encouraging you, if you like us, if you like the programme and what we do, to, if you can, to give us £5 per episode, or maybe £25 for the first 5 if you're feeling generous.
Or 25 for every episode if you're feeling really generous.
Yes.
Oh, very generous.
Yeah.
Although someone did donate 25p via PayPal recently. Thank you very much.
Yeah, well, we don't know if that was a mistake or if that was just a deliberate thing. Actually, in some ways, it was quite good, because if you donate only 25 pence, it doesn't charge you on PayPal.
It doesn't, no.
So actually, the best way to do it is just to donate 25 pence 100
over
times.
again.
Just do it 100 times, and we won't get charged for it. Perfect.
Yes.
And you can see why we've been banned from YouTube, I think.
Yes. So, coming up on YTV episode 1, we are going to take a boat trip to an exotic location. We're going to meet a 100-year-old dog, and we're going to go trespassing on a mountain. And what else are we going to do, David?
Well, we're also, we don't want to just keep talking about the money, of course, because that's not what
Yeah,
we're...
we've got some folk awards to auction off tonight.
No. Folk awards to auction, so the highest bidder. And we will also be doing a feature called The Young'uns Mercenary Minute. I wanted to call it The Young'uns Musical Mercenary Moment, but we didn't have enough characters couldn't fit on the screen, apparently, because we haven't got the technology to put more than 20 characters on a screen there.
So what's the idea?
The idea behind it is, well, it's actually based on something that someone wrote and said, I've chipped in, I hope there's not going to be adverts, lads, unless you're doing the adverts, which struck an idea in our heads. If you run a company, if you have a business, or if you just want a little song or jingle dedicated to someone, a personalised song or jingle, so we can make it up here on the spot, then donate £50. £50 to the cause. No, to the Young'uns, not the cause, I'll get any money. Never mind. Angela's got enough, thank you very much. Exactly, yeah, the cause have hijacked our YouTube channel. Anyway, what did we do? But the... there's very topical humour here. Yes, exactly. So what we want you to do is, if you have £50 to spare and you want your company promoted, we will do you a jingle. If nothing comes in, then we'll just sit in silence for 2 minutes. And so that's what's coming up. That's the Young'uns Mercenary Minute, and you can leave. We should say that when you donate, you can leave. Yeah, you can leave at any time. Oh, there's some really good stuff on YouTube if you fancy. What you need to do is when you donate £50, there is a message field, I believe, Michael.
There is.
And what you can do, good contribution from Michael.
Thank you.
Great, excellent. All you've done before that point was just coughed.
Well, absolutely.
What a cough it was. There we are. Anyway, enough about the One Cough. Mr. One Cough, one of our Russian benefactors. Anyway, what I was trying to say is you can leave a little message, and we want to know about your company, about your business, so that I can put it in a little pithy but marketing genius song. Anyway, where to now?
A song.
A song,
Yes.
of course, yeah. Well, we haven't really sang together much over the last 5 months, so we should probably sing something that we know really well. So, Spice Girls wannabe? I don't know. Let's do a bit of John Ball.
A bit of John Ball, there we go.
Who'll be the lady, who will be the lord?
When we are ruled by the love of one another, who'll be the lady, who will be the lord? In the light that is coming in the morning, sing John Ball and tell it to them all.
and long live the day that is dawning. I'll crow like a cock, I'll carol like a lark, in the light that is coming in the morning.
Eve is the lady and Adam is the Lord.
When we are ruled by the love of one another, Eve is the lady and Adam is the Lord, in the light that is coming in the morning. Sing John Ball and tell it to them all, and long live the day that is dawning. I'll crow like a cock, I'll carol like a lark, in the light that is coming in the morning. All shall be ruled by fellowship, I say. When we are ruled by the love of one another, all shall be ruled by fellowship, I say, in the light that is coming in the morning. So sing John Ball and tell it to them all, and long live the day that is dawning. I'll crow like a cock, I'll carol like a lark, in the light that is coming in the morning. If you want the next verse, it's 25 quid. Does it come through, Michael?
Not yet, keep going.
Does it come through yet?
Not yet.
All right, okay, this is going to be, the joke was you just say yes and I'd move on to the next verse.
right,
but
yes,
never
go
mind.
on,
All
go
right,
on,
no, thank you. Labour and spin, we should have rehearsed this, shouldn't we? Who are we? They're called Labour and spin for fellowship, I say. Labour and spin for the love of one another. Labour and spin for fellowship, I say, in the light that is coming in the morning. So sing John Ball and tell it to them all, and long live the day that is dawning. I'll crow like a cock, I'll carol like a lark, in the light that is coming in the morning. Sing John Ball and tell it to them all, and long live the day that is dawning. I'll crow like a cock, I'll carol like a lark, in the light that is coming in the morning. Thank you. We'll have to give ourselves a round of applause there.
It's come through now, Davey. It's come through.
Excellent, excellent. I got a little bit effusive there at the end, so it didn't mean to go quite as loud as that.
That was John Ball. It was written by Sidney Carter. It was about the man whose words inspired the Peasants' Revolt in 1381. And it's beautiful here tonight. We're live from Sheffield, and the sun is just going down through the window behind us.
We put that on especially for you, my friend.
And so we were going to talk about lockdown, David, weren't we?
Well, I think we should, because we have purposefully not really spoken to each other over the course of the last
the social distancing's been really good for us.
Well, yeah, exactly. And we've deliberately not done that because we wanted the magic to happen when we eventually start talking to each other again. I think you just saw with my interaction with Michael before the fourth verse how well that went down.
Really well.
So I've no idea what's been going on in your lockdown, Mr. Coody.
I've had a wonderful time. I've been a full-time dad to a rumptuous 2-year-old, and we've had
the parents were delighted that you took them off the house. That was it. Very good.
We've had the time of our lives. We've been building castles, and I've even the biggest challenge was cutting his hair. Really, I waited till he was asleep, and I think we've actually got a picture of there's Patrick before the haircut, and here he is afterwards. There we go, my very own Grayson Perry. Thank you.
I've had an idea. What did you do with your hair, Michael? I'm not talking about your German flatmate. What did you do with your hair during lockdown?
Well, I had a hell of a lot, but Hannah cut my hair, actually. My wife cut my hair.
How's the hair looking now, Mr. Cooney?
Not too bad.
I suddenly had an idea. I know what will generate money. If we get enough money, I will cut Michael's hair. How does that sound?
Well, I think you have to adhere to the strict social distancing.
Well, yeah, that'll be
we could do
I'll
that.
just have a pair of long scissors. Just make it even more dangerous. As if it's not dangerous enough a blind man cutting someone's hair. Let's have a really long pair of scissors. I'll do it from over there. Excellent. So if you want to see that, get donating, people. Anything else? Mr. Hughes, what have you been up to for lockdown?
Oh, well, we had a son. My wife and I had a son in Elijah.
You've got to make your own. Elijah?
Elijah, yeah. And he was born in
You
October.
say Elijah, not Elijah.
Elijah.
Okay, that's fair enough. Some people would say Elijah, some people would say Elijah. Let's not fall out over it.
Well, no. So my lockdown was all about nappies, was all about stories,
And
was all
eventually
about rah-rah, the nosy
Eventually,
lion.
you got onto your son. Enough about your sex life. Anyway, who's Rara?
Rah-rah, the noisy lion, David.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, wonderful. Maybe we'll have to introduce him into our Kids Corner, which is a feature that will be coming up a little bit later on.
I also want to find, we just found out yesterday actually, that a lovely man opposite our neighbour, Clive, he's a lovely guy, really nice guy, and we've spent, a little bit of time, a minute here and there with him over the last 4 years. Just found out yesterday his name's actually Cliff.
All right.
So I just want to say hello to Clive, Cliff, whatever you're called.
Excellent.
What about your lockdown, David?
Well, mine's been very different because I haven't got a child, so I haven't been able to do that, and I felt very despondent about that. So I was singing a lot of childless ballads, but no, it's because I'm used to obviously being out the house with you people doing the young uns, but before that as well, I was also around the house, out the house quite a lot doing comedy. And so it was a real odd situation just having all of that time when I was meant to be out of the house, just in the house, and I didn't know what to do. I spent the first 2 days just staring at a wall, which is pretty boring for anybody at the best of times, but imagine how much more dull it is when you're blind. So I had no idea what to do with my time. So it's wonderful to be back is the upshot of that. Anyway, I've realised we've recorded all of these features, and if we're not careful, we won't have time to do any of them because we're just talking to each other. So we're going to have to pry ourselves away from each other and maybe get on with our first feature, perhaps.
Yes. Well, before the world went into lockdown, we'd just come to the end of the first run of our new theatrical version of our show, The Ballad of Johnny Longstaff. And we'd had this great time in Newcastle and in Edinburgh as well. And unfortunately, we then had to cancel the shows in Liverpool and Hull and put on hold our plans to take it to Toronto in November. But hopefully we're going to be bringing the show back next year, and hopefully we can pick up where we left off. Now, Johnny Longstaff...
F-sharp major, I believe.
Johnny Longstaff himself was an incredible person. His life touched upon some of the most momentous moments of working class history in the early 20th century. And the show is based on songs that we've written about his amazing life, but also his real recorded voice is a big part of it as well. It's something that's really, really special to us. And when we went into partnership with the Northern Stage Theatre in Newcastle and the Harbourfront Centre in Toronto to make this new theatrical version, which was based on our original album, the director we were working with, Lorne Campbell, challenged me to write a new song, a song that paid a little bit of tribute to Johnny's part in the Right to Roam movement, access to the countryside. And Johnny in the 1930s took part in some acts of civil disobedience, trespassing, demonstrating that the great British countryside should be accessible to all, not just the few people who happen to own it. And one of the most famous of these trespassing stories is Kinder Scout, the mass trespass of 1932. And although Johnny wasn't actually there that day, many of the things that happened then inspired our new song. And so a couple of weeks ago, along with our mate, an expert in the story, Buff Wally from Chumbawamba, we went to Kinder Scout and we followed in the footsteps of the trespassers.
We are the bold trespassing lads and lasses, also free, who dare to walk in places where we're told we should be. Where there's fences round the forest, where the beach is out of bounds, where the walls are rising round the fields that once were common ground. Where the keeper's hand lies heavy, and he tells you with a strut that the moors were made for shooting, so the countryside is shut. We will make this orphan proudly call for beauty is for all. We will find a gap in every hedge, a hole in every wall. Our fathers sold their boots for coal or burned them for the dead, while our mothers worked their weary limbs into their bosses' bread. But we were born on smoky lawns and streets that knew no sun. The green hill wasn't far away, just waiting till you won. From the mountains of Snowdonia to the waters of the Broads, from the lonely hills of Lakeland to the West Country towns, there's a treasury from sea to sea, a fell and field and plain, and the warbling woods are waiting for to welcome us again. I dreamed I met Lord Bug upon the burning moor. Said he, this land belongs to me, you are breaking the law. How came you by it, sir, I cried, and he replied in awe. That his father's 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 father won it in a war. Well, if that be true, my lord, I cried, I gave a tidy bow. Then by the same such logic, sir,
I'll fight you for it now.
our lungs are full, our lives are young, and we will not be scared. We are the feet of England, and we're headed for the hill. We are the bold trespassing lads and lasses, also free, who dare to walk in places where we're told we shouldn't be.
We're standing in Borden Bridge Quarry in Derbyshire, just outside the village of Hayfield, and it was exactly at this spot, upon this spot, on the 24th of April 1932, that 400 to 500 young ramblers convened at the start of what became known as the mass trespass of Kinder Scout. Kinder Scout is a large plateau, the highest point in the Peak District, right slap bang in the middle of two big industrial centres, Manchester and Sheffield, Lancashire and Yorkshire, although we're actually standing in Derbyshire. And this went down as one of the most successful acts in civil disobedience in British history, according to many people. They were demonstrating their right to wander, to roam, to ramble freely on the beautiful countryside, a right that was denied them for so many generations. And today, along with our mate Boff Wally, we're going to follow in their footsteps.
So we're ready. Michael's got his umbrella in his arse pocket there, and
Are you sure it's the umbrella? This is his arse pocket. That could be quite. Are you pleased to see me? Anyway.
so Buff, you're going to be our. Well, not to throw this on at the last minute, but you are our guide today.
All right. Are you expecting me to know things? I believe you've written a poem for the occasion, Bob. I'm sure I could make one of them.
So yeah, well in 1932 they sang as they went, apparently.
You know what they said?
No.
Oh. I get no kicks from champagne. Off we go.
Okay, we're halfway up William Clough, and we've bumped into some friends. Indeed, we might even call them fans.
Well, I would call them fans. I don't know about friends, but fair enough. These are people who attend our singing weekends that we run. Unfortunately, we won't be able to do them this year, but they've obviously not taken too kindly to receiving an email telling us that the singing weekends aren't going, so they've been stalking us, no doubt. That's what's been going on here. So they've asked for maybe a little song since we've met. And so, should we just give a blast of something?
Yeah, bit of the Great Tomorrow.
A bit of the Great Tomorrow. We've been talking about Longstaff and his affiliation to trespassing, so this seems quite appropriate. And there's a song sang upon the mountain, and there's a song upon the sea. There's a song sang in unison and a song in harmony. And there's a song sang in every timbre and in 47 tongues. 30,000 voices are all singing our song. And the more of us who learn to sing it then, the sooner there will be peace beneath the branches of the lime and olive tree.
From mine and mill and field and shipyard, from behind the company door,
From the plain fields of Eton to the warrens of the poor, from Helsinki to Buenos Aires, our reasons are the same. From Melbourne to Vancouver now, we have come to Spain. For if you sing a song of freedom, then it does not matter where.
If your song is freedom, then you sing it everywhere. There are some of our number who've known the pain of war.
And there are some of our number who have never fought before.
But there are none of our number would think it were in vain to leave their warm blood spilled upon the dry hot soil of Spain. And if I end up on the roll of honour, I'll be in good company. If there's peace beneath the branches of the lime and olive tree. One day there will be no fascist and no anti-fascist men. One day there'll be no us, and one day there'll be no them. For equality is for everyone, no matter what we've done. The sins of our fathers will not ever harm our sons. And there will come a great tomorrow for everyone to see. Peace beneath the branches of the lime and olive tree. But if all our dreams are sold and bartered, and if all our names are lost, and if everything we fought for crumbles into dust, they will never take from me the love I felt that day. I went because my open eyes could see no other way. And if I live to be 100, make this my legacy. Peace beneath the branches of the lime and olive tree. Yes, if I live to be 100, make this my legacy. Nice and loud now.
Peace beneath the branches of the lime and olive tree.
Oh, thank you very much. Ruining picnics everywhere.
Oh, would you like to do one, Bob? Okay, let me try and remember the words.
So Bob's going to sing us a little song now. What are you going to sing for us, Bob?
From below.
Ooh, you're going to sing from below?
Which is strange because I'm kind of standing higher than you.
Yeah, I don't know if I like the sound. He's going to sing from below. My goodness. But it's not the sound I'm worried about, it's the smell. But anyway.
Right, are we ready?
Aye, here we go.
Let's see if I can remember the words. With a compass and a cap, for a sing-song and a scrap, are we bound to the lines upon the map? Hell no, 'cause real change comes from below. From below,
From below,
from below. Real change comes from below. From below, from below. Real change comes from below. It's a place we call our own, from boundary stone to boundary stone. Or will they take away the right to roam? Hell no, 'cause real change comes from below. From below, from below. Real change comes from below. From below, from below. Real change comes from below. For every footprint on the land, for all the banners and the band, or will we stick to the landlord's plans? Hell no, 'cause real change comes from below. From below, from below. Real change comes from below.
From below.
Down in the soil where the real ideas grow. Real change comes from below.
Do you want to do the last one? Do you want to do the last bit again?
Sorry.
I did say it for many a song and he lived up to it.
That was fine.
That was brilliant. Should we keep moving?
Yeah.
Let's go.
That was Buff Wally singing Real Change Comes From Below, halfway up Kinder Scout a couple of weeks ago. We're going to return to Kinder shortly. Now, we're having a few technical difficulties tonight. This is very much a homemade job for us, and I know that YouTube we're having problems with, so apologies if you were all set up to watch it on your telly and you've had to move to your phone or your laptop. We are working on it, and by the end of tonight, we should have it all on there for you to watch again.
But also, we found out that sometimes the video and our audio is not syncing properly. So,
well said, Michael.
Exactly. Very good, Mr. Goldie. So yes, we're not sure what, but I think that would make it more interesting, wouldn't it? Because people could, if the video's first, people could try and lip read, guess what I'm about to say, and then see if they're right. Extra fun. Thank you. Okay.
Okay, so welcome to Kids Corner. This is a feature for our younger fans. Every one of our episodes is going to feature a little section in Kids Corner with some of our beautiful drawings that some of our young fans have kindly sent in. Now, if you would like to send us a drawing to sit alongside the non-socially distanced knitted young'uns here, all you have to do is post your drawing to YTV 45 Ash Furlong Road, Sheffield, S173NL.
Are they expected to remember that?
Well,
Does it come
there's
up on the
a,
screen?
they'll have a pause button on the screen. I'm holding it
Oh,
up.
right.
I'm holding it up on a sheet of paper.
Well, I
Sorry
mean, to be honest, they'll have seen the video. The audio's going to come in 30 seconds'
Yes.
time. So take note, everybody, and make a note of the address.
Okay. The idea is that we're going to, every week, every month, we're going to share one of the songs that we've written with a group of kids somewhere in the country over the past few years. And the first song is inspired by the full story, inspired by a picture, this picture. It's a picture of 7 soldiers from 1914, 7 soldiers from Middlesbrough. But look closely, boys and girls, and you might be able to tell me something else about that picture. They look very similar. These are brothers. It's the Wallace brothers from Middlesbrough. Well, 6 of them are brothers, and John on the left there with the crooked hat, he's the brother-in-law. He married the sister. And the Wallace brothers all joined the British Army in 1914 and went off to the war. But they didn't go alone. They took something with them. They took the dog with them. Here he is, Rab the dog who went to war. And you weren't really supposed to take pets to the war, but there are actually hundreds of beautiful stories about animals, mascots from the Western Front, and many of them were collected by Richard Van Emden, who published a book called Tommy's Ark. But we went into Oxbridge Lane Primary School in Stockton-on-Tees a few years ago and wrote a song with the kids about Rab, the dog who went to war. And look, David, we've got a dog down here.
We have.
It's
Especially.
sleep.
Do you know how to work YouTube? This is Hudson
It's sleeping
Andy
Hudson.
and his dog. And you may be aware of the record label Hudson Records. And that is where this dog was... the record company were named after the dog.
Yes,
Thank
David.
you.
So
That'll
how
sound good in 30 seconds when you hear it.
we want to ask the boys and girls at home to join in. How can we do
Well,
that?
they can join in with the chorus, Rab the dog who went to war. But the most important thing, people, is to go, woof, woof. Can be any dog, doesn't have to be a Yorkshire Terrier like that one there. Can be any dog. So
Okay.
Rab the dog who went to war, woof, woof, is what we would like you to do.
Oh, could you just explain, by the way, Mr. Cunningham, because I'm looking at social media.
Yes.
People are asking, why is there a frying pan on the wall?
Why is there a frying pan? Well, tune in next time to get to the bottom of why there is a frying pan on the wall, boys and girls.
That's going to keep them coming back next month. I didn't like it, but the frying pan tease really did it for me. Excellent.
Okay.
Okay. And right, so here we go. Rab the dog who went to war. Rab the dog who went to war. Have I started playing the
Well, I
accordion
thought you
yet?
were going to do the woof like a dog.
I'm
There. I
gonna
pointed
do
at you.
woof
Like,
like a dog. Oh, you pointed at me.
Yeah, I
Oh,
did. Yeah.
You seem to
Sorry.
have forgotten something. Lockdown. It's been a long lockdown. Woof, woof.
There were
7 men from Middlesbrough, for them we'll sing this song. Henry, Robert, Charlie, Andrew, James, David and John. There were 6 brothers and a brother-in-law, and Rab, the dog who went to war. Oh, Rab, the dog who went to war. Rab, the dog who went to war. There were 6 brothers and a brother-in-law, and Rab, the dog who went to war.
Yeah. The strict sergeant said,
Pets are against the rules. You can't bring a dog in here, you silly bug.
Rab puffed out his chest and he gave
a mighty roar. Rab, the dog who went to war. Woof, woof. Rab, the dog who went to war. Rab, the dog who went to war. But Rab puffed out his chest and he gave a mighty roar. Rab, the dog who went to war.
Your turn, Michael. Woof, woof. Oh, very good. Oh. Got a little aroused there. Sorry, kids corner.
Woof, woof. In 1918, though many men had died, those dogs still by their side, and the people of Middlesbrough gave a mighty roar for Rab, the dog who went to war.
Your turn, Mr. Goody.
Woof, woof.
Very good.
Rab, the dog who went to war. Rab, the dog who went to war. The people of Middlesbrough gave a mighty roar for Rab, the dog who went to war.
On your own.
Rab, the dog who went to war. Rab, the dog who went to war. The people of Middlesbrough gave a mighty roar.
Oh, Rab,
The dog who went to war. Woof.
Beautiful harmonies, Michael.
Thank you, David.
Oh.
So we will be back in Kids Corner this time next month. But Michael Hughes,
Ah, yes.
how are we getting on? Has anyone taken up David on the offer of the Mercenary
Oh,
minute?
I got a second.
Well, incredibly, the answer is yes.
Yes.
Really?
Oh dear me.
Well, if I
Wasn't
survive this next bit where I've got tangled with the accordion, that's what we'll do next.
expecting that. Well, in these times of social distance, David, I'm not allowed to come near you, so you'll have to
Oh, yeah.
figure this one out for yourself.
Can you let me know if we get it fixed? How does it sound? Right, hang on. There we go. I think I've done it. So, what's next, Mr. Cooney?
Well,
Mercenary minute, Michael.
yes.
Has anyone
Shall I
been
tell
in
you?
touch?
So, yeah. So someone's
Well,
emailed
don't
in.
tell me anything yet, because I don't want... the whole point is I want to rely on my uncanny improvisation skills.
Oh, yes, of course.
Yes, once I've done this Houdini escapology act and tried to get out of this tangle of wires. So meanwhile, while I try and do that, we shall reveal who the benefactor, the benefactor of Mercenary Minute is a little bit later on, and we'll remind you how you can get in touch. I thought we were doing this after the show. You've got a man between your legs now. Is this Andy? This is Andy.
Tim.
It's Tim.
Thanks,
Tim.
Tim.
This is a wonderful bit here. I mean,
What a moment!
it went better when we scripted this bit, to be honest, Tim. But I told you not to do that again, didn't I?
Okay.
Thank you very much.
I
What's
think
next?
it's time to head back to Kinder Scout. So here we are. We've come up William Clough, and it's probably taken us a little bit longer than it did in 1932.
I mean, that was largely my fault. Sorry about that, Mr. Cooney. Just dragging you down there and falling around things. There's nothing like after a good walk, though, a tiring walk is what makes it worthwhile is the view, isn't it?
Oh. And yeah, it's just absolutely phenomenal to be here. And just for a bit of background, really, well, you know, the access to the land wasn't a new thing. It was people had been campaigning for it for a couple of generations, and interestingly from all kinds of social classes. But what was distinctive about this is that it was working class young people. It was actually an offshoot of the Communist Party, Buff, wasn't it? The British Young Sporting Association, something like that.
The Ramblers Association disowned it.
That's right.
They said they wouldn't be part of it if they were going to break the law.
Yeah. And it's great to know that even though that is like an intensely political thing, that now it's just an accepted thing that what these people did for us was to spur on the cause of walking in the countryside. And interestingly, me and Buff were just chatting about it was three weeks before, something like that. Benny Rothman, who was the organiser of the trespass, he took some friends from the south up to go walking nearby, and they were turned back by a group of gamekeepers. And there was about 5 or 6 of them in the party, and these gamekeepers came with sticks and said, right, you're trespassing on this land, you're not going to get past us. And Benny thought to himself, well, hang on, there's only 6 of us now, but what if we could get like a couple of hundred people? They wouldn't be able to stop us. We'd just do it, and that's exactly what happened. So where we are now, Buff, is this the point where it happened?
The actual trespass.
Well, this is it's kind of, they kind of got to a point where they realised that they could see the gamekeepers on the top,
Yeah.
and so they started leaving the path.
Yeah. So they were entitled to walk on the path.
No, they were entitled to walk on certain paths, but
Yeah.
they were given least 1 day a year.
Yeah.
And on that day, there would be like thousands and thousands of people would walk this one path across the Peak District.
Yeah.
And so they chose a day that wasn't that day.
Yeah.
But yeah, as soon as they left the path, then they ended up having, what do they call it? Skirmishes,
Yeah.
scuffles. And a gamekeeper got his leg broken, and it never quite came to light how that happened. But have you seen the photographs of it?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's blurry black and white photographs.
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
People with sticks.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that. I think. I heard an interview with Benny Rothman. He said, "Well, the minority of people involved in scuffles, and one gamekeeper fell over and sprained his leg or broke his leg, and there was another incident where a gamekeeper hit one of the trespassers, and the trespasser retaliated with a punch, and that was the sort of majority of the scuffles that happened. But the story is so sort of immortalised as this brilliant thing, and I think people forget. I certainly wasn't aware of the fact that actually a group of them, including Benny Rothman himself, did get prison sentences for 2 to 4 months for coming up here. Not incidentally for trespassing, because that wasn't actually a criminal offence. That was the great irony of the whole thing. They were got the sentences for riotous assembly. Where
the jury was made up. It was in Sheffield, and the jury was made up entirely of ex-army officers and landowners. Just it wasn't a jury of your peers at all.
Yeah.
And the judge made a veiled reference to the fact that Benny Rothman was Jewish.
That's right. Yeah.
Just to make sure that the jury all knew.
That's right. There's more than a tinge of anti-Semitism, is it? And also the radical politics. He mentioned that one of them had a copy of the Daily Worker, and one of them had a copy of Lenin, one of Lenin's works in his pocket, and
one of them had a copy of Beano.
Very political.
He got sent down.
Yeah, and it is hailed as this great victory, and or maybe say something about I think what was the fact that they were sent to prison really sort of worked in the favour of the cause, really, because then it made people think, well, hang on, wow, you're sending these guys to prison for this. We need to support this. People should be enabled to enjoy the countryside. And so what were you saying a couple of weeks after this trespass, what happened in the Winnets Pass?
Yeah, they organised another where they were meeting at Winnets Pass, just kind of south of here, and they and 10,000 people turned up.
Yeah.
And then they carried on having successive, huge gatherings, and it became obvious that in Parliament they kind of said, right, we need to. How do we stop this? We can't stop them physically. All we can do. What they did is they used obviously our taxes, and they bought off all the land from the landowners. So we actually paid for it.
Right.
They all got compensated in the same way as slave owners did. Yeah. But that was the way that all this got opened up. Yeah. And I think a lot of the horror of it, why people were galvanised and moved, was because if you kind of go, well, what were they doing up there to get prison sentences? Well, they were walking and eating sandwiches. Yeah. It's not like, it's not some kind of big crime in anyone's book. So, and there's a lot more of it to be done as well. I think there's still a lot of land. Well, obviously, 90% of land is still, you're not allowed to walk across.
Yeah, well, that's right. I mean, it wasn't until 1949 that the Peak District became a national park. It wasn't until the year 2000 until the Countryside and Right to Way Act, enabled some right to roam, but there's still, thousands of acres of coastland, moorland that is
next month's episode, everybody.
Next month you will take on golf courses. We went to one of the anniversary events that we went to, and there's an annual anniversary of the mass trespass that was down in Edale. And I think it was the Staley Bridge, it might have been, or the High Peaks male voice choir came and sang, and there was 2 of the original trespassers there, and they sang Manchester Rambler.
Yeah.
And whatever you think about that song, it's a bit kind of yank dee dee dee, but the way they sang it with this like 30 male voices on that anniversary, it was just like, everyone was
Yeah.
brilliant, absolutely, you know, really moving.
Yeah.
And then everybody kind of put the sacks on and headed off up the hill,
Yeah.
just to kind of make it real. It was
Brilliant.
great, really good.
Yeah, I was in a artisan bakery near me.
Goodness, the folk singing's going well for some. Hey,
My local
getting paid a lot more than we are.
my local hipster bakery, and they always have like interesting music on there, and I'm queuing up for some sourdough or whatever, and the Manchester Rambler comes on, and I'm thinking, oh yeah, isn't this brilliant?
Yeah.
And then I can hear the staff there in the counter saying, it sounds very Disney, doesn't it? And then it sparked them off to have a conversation about the favourite Disney film. What's your favourite Disney film?
Wow.
I was thinking,
There's
do
a
I say
legacy,
anything?
Ewan. There's a
Excuse
legacy.
me, let me tell you that this was actually written by Ewan McCall.
Sounds very Disney.
Yeah.
Fine. Right. The day was just ending as I was descending. Are we singing this?
Well, do you know the words or?
No, I thought. I hope that if I'd started, you'd stop.
yeah.
The day was
just
Thank
ending,
you.
and I was descending down Grimesbrook just by up a door. When a voice said,
Hey you!
"In the way keepers do eat the worst face that ever I saw." The things that he said were unpleasant. In the teeth of his fury, I said, "Sooner than part from the mountain, I think I would rather be dead. I'm a rambler from Manchester way. I get all me pleasure the Hartlepool way. I may be a wage slave on Monday, but I am a free man on Sunday." He called me a louse and said, "Think of the grouse." Well, I thought, but I still couldn't see. While Orkin the scouts and the moors round about couldn't take both the poor grouse and me. He said, "All this land is my master's." Watch your step now. At that I should shake in my head. No man has the right to own mountains any more than the deep ocean bed. I'm a rambler from Manchester way. I get all me pleasure the Hartlepool way. I may be a wage slave on Monday, but I am a free man on Sunday.
Right, Boff, I'll race you.
Thanks so much to Buff Wally for joining us there. That was a wonderful day out
We should
to
probably
Kinder Scout.
point out the reason I said I'll race him is because Boff is a fell runner and he's written a book all about it. It's called Run Wild, so you can check that out.
That's right. But the right to roam itself is very much a current issue still. And if you want to know more about a campaign that's just been launched this very day, in fact, with the publication of a book by Nick Hayes called The Book of Trespass, just go to the website rightoroam.org.uk and find out how you can join the movement. And lots of people I know are really sort of thinking about that, the inequalities of lockdown and how more people can access the open air and the open country. Okay.
My goodness, this is quite a nerve-wracking experience now because someone's livelihood is in the balance. Someone's company reputation
ours certainly is.
in in the balance. So it's time for Mercenary Minute. So Michael, for those people who've maybe just joined us, Michael has got a message from somebody who has paid £50 in order for us to do an advert for their company, I believe. So what's the company, Michael? Then I'm going to improvise a jingle for that company. Okay.
Okay, so this is a message from Joe,
Right.
and he's an electrician, and he says this, and he describes his company just to give you a bit of a sort of heads up for your improvisation. Ian,
Yeah,
David.
good. I'll take notes.
And
Yeah,
he says this. He says, "Well, landlord." And
No,
we-
I'm not. I'm David Eagle from the Young'uns. You'd have thought you'd have realised if we was paying that money, but never mind. Continue.
This could be a lot.
It's a spam
Took
email.
quite a while to read this out, I think. Are you
Big enough, thank you. What?
I,
What's the company called?
well, I'll tell you about
All right,
it.
okay. All right. I just want to know the name of the company so
I
I
want
can.
to reveal it as we go. So
All
he
right,
says, "Are you a landlord and require an electrical inspection? Look no further than Gray's Electrical and Compliance. We are fully approved
Well,
by
I
the..."
can say from the start, Michael, you did. I will tell you, you gave me a little bit of heads up and said we've got an email here from Joe from Gray's Electrical Services and Compliance, I believe. So I'm thinking you've read the name of the company wrong. So
Well, no, because he says here, Joe, on behalf of Gray's Electrical Services, is the name of the company.
yeah, and compliance.
Well, that's
you
not what it
said is
says
the
here,
name of the
David. I
thing.
mean-
All right, fair enough.
here we
That's
go.
what well, it's a great advert so far, Joe.
Exactly, Joe.
Excellent.
And he says this, he says,
I think I'm going to leave folk music and become a landlord. Dear, dear.
he said, we are fully approved by the NICEIC. Gray's Electrical is a local friendly
He's
approved...
changed the name again. He can't make his mind up what he is.
Gray's Electrical, local friendly approved electrician specialist in rewires, inspections and testing and all other electrical work. For professional advice and a quotation, call us on 0800 334 5875.
I've got that number.
Hang
I'll
on,
put that
hang
into a
on.
catchy song.
Hang on.
Yes.
And then he goes on to say, that's 0800
All right.
334 5875. Or visit our website, genc.com.
Okay, so GE
Best
and
regards,
C. Yeah, so that's Gray's
Joe.
Electrical and Compliance. So I think the company's called Gray's Electrical and Compliance then, do you think? Let's go with that. Let's go with that. So I'll do a little jingle for this company.
Is the money in our account, Michael?
The money's
already
in.
in.
yeah, go.
You massacre his business for all I
It's
care. The money's
already
in.
in now. It's too late to go back. Meanwhile, that person's just, who originally gave us the 25 pence, has just taken the 25 pence back. Oh dear, what a dark day it is for the young'uns. Yeah, I'm going to do this. Now, you might have noticed I bought myself a little bit of time by going, oh. It's a very clever trick if you're not sure what to do there.
Well, Joe doesn't have any time left now. He's just gone into administration.
Exactly. Oh, I don't mind doing a cockney voice. Oh, Gray's Electrical Compliance. I say this with defiance. It's hardly rocket science. They've got many happy clients at Gray's Electrical Compliance. When it comes to electricals, quite frankly, they're the dog's testicles. If you need rewiring, they're the men you should be or women, I don't know. The guys you should be hiring. Can they deal with my loose cable? Oh yes, sir. They're more than able. Now come on, guys, you don't want no thugs on drugs changing your sockets and plugs when you want them safely installed into your wall. So why don't you give them a call on Michael? 0800 334
5875.
That 0800 334 5875 575. Get all together now. 0800 334 5875. Oh dear. Great Electrical Service and Compliance. Yeah. Simple stuff.
Oh, dear me.
Ah.
Oh, David,
Right.
I didn't think I'd ever say this. That 5 months has probably been the best 5 months of my life, but I've just realised I have missed you.
Oh, isn't it unique? Excellent.
Oh,
Well,
wow.
Yes. So I think that's really going to endorse people now into
Yes,
think so,
giving
yeah.
£50
Oh, they're
is
flooding
nothing
in now, yeah.
after that.
Okay, well, we promised you a boat trip to an exotic location. Hello, everybody, welcome to Hartlepool.
Hello, I've not been out of Sheffield for 4 months in lockdown, and of course there's a special treat. Where am I going to come to? The headland, Hartlepool, of course.
We had the idea that as part of this Young'uns TV, we'd come to our muse, the old part of Hartlepool, the beautiful headland, and sing songs on location in the places that inspired them. And our friend Alan has kindly invited us to come and sing on his boat. We're here at the Cafiga part of Hartlepool docks. All the fishing smacks are over there. These are like the pleasure boats, and this is the good ship Shazza. Although if you look closely at the label, at the name inscription there, Alan's had a bit of a confusion that it might actually read something else. So the first trick in these times of social distance is how to get us all aboard the good ship Shazza safely. David, after you.
I'll take a run up.
Okay, so.
aboard the good ship Shazza heading out into Hartlepool Bay. Alan's at the wheel and it's time for a shanty.
Just rev in the right key, please, Alan. Thank you. Lift him up and carry him along. Fire-Marengo, fire away. Send him down where he belongs. Fire-Marengo, fire away.
Oh, send him down and let him lay.
Fire-Marengo, fire away.
One more pull and then belay.
Fire-Marengo, fire
Oh,
away.
screw the cotton, screw it down.
Fire-Marengo, fire away.
Let's get away from Mobile Town.
Fire-Marengo, fire
Oh,
away.
when I get back to Liverpool Town.
Fire-Marengo, fire away.
I cast a line to little Sally Brown.
Fire-Marengo, fire
Oh,
away.
Sally, she's a pretty little craft.
Fire-Marengo, fire away.
Sharp at fore and round at aft.
Fire-Marengo, fire
So lift him up and carry him along.
Fire-Marengo, fire away. Send him down where he belongs. Fire-Marengo, fire away. Fire away.
Just having a spin around the docks and taking in the whole view of the wonderful Hartlepool headland, the place that really got me inspired to write songs. And we started a folk club in Hartlepool about 13 years ago, and we just immersed ourselves in the whole culture and tradition and the beauty of the place. And as you can hear the seagulls wheeling around us now, in my line of sight we can see Hartlepool Borough Hall, the beautiful 800-year-old St Hilda's Church. We're heading out of the docks, we're heading for the beautiful Hartlepool Bay now. Because of the tides this morning and the weather, we're not able to go too far, but we should get a lovely view of the beautiful Hartlepool headland, the site that for over 1,000 years people saw who approached Hartlepool by sea. Pilgrims from all over Europe in medieval times sailing into Hartlepool and seeing the beautiful St Hilda's Church and the medieval town wall. And on the starboard side here we've got the Hartlepool lifeboat station. Hartlepool's got a proud lifeboat tradition stretching back over 200 years. People watching in different parts of the world might be unaware that the RNLI, the Royal National Lifeboat Institute, doesn't get any government funding or central support. It's funded entirely by donations.
Having said that, please give to our charity, the Young'uns.
And here we can see the old ferry steps. Someone's having a spot of fishing on the ferry steps. Middleton, the ferry used to take people across the loch from the headland to Middleton, across the bay. And these are the remains of the beautiful medieval town wall that was built to keep the Scots out. Some of them got through. And we can see the fish sands now coming into view. Where for hundreds of years, fishing boats known as cobbles round here would pull up onto the sand, and the fishermen would make their way home through the beautiful Sandwell Gate, the medieval archway. In the spirit of true social distancing, we're now going to perform at great distance to the people of Hartlepool.
Now we are ready to head for the whole way. Hey, roll and go.
Our boots and our clothes are all in the pole.
Rollicking randy dandy oh. Heave a pole, heave away. Way, hey, roll and go. The anchor's on board and our cables all stowed. We rollicking randy dandy oh.
We're outward bound for Hartlepool.
Way, hey, roll and go.
Get bending me boys, it's a bloody long way.
Rollicking randy dandy oh. Heave a pole, heave away. Way, hey, roll and go.
The anchor's on board and our cable's all stored. We're rollicking randy dandy oh.
Goodbye to Sally and goodbye to Sue.
We're rolling gold, rollicking randy dandy oh. Heave a pull, heave away, we're rolling go. The anchor's on board and our cable's all stored. Hey, rollicking randy dandy oh.
Rest your bars, bullies, the wind
Hey, we're rolling go.
Get your glad rags on, boys, driving a sea.
Rollicking randy dandy oh. Heave a pull, heave away, we're rolling go. The anchor's on board and our cable's all stored. Hey, rollicking randy dandy oh.
Heave away your parish rig bones.
We're rolling go.
Get your hands out your pockets and don't suck your thumbs.
Rollicking randy dandy oh. Heave a pull, heave away, we're rolling go. The anchor's on board and our cable's all stored. We're rollicking randy dandy oh.
Now we are ready to head for the hole.
We're rolling go. Rollicking randy dandy oh. Heave a pull, heave away, we're rolling go. The anchor's on board and our cable's all stored. We're rollicking randy dandy oh. Heave a pull, heave away, we're rolling go. The anchor's on board and our cable's all stored. To me, rollicking randy dandy oh.
The engine stopped there, Al. Is everything all right?
So what's that life jacket with you, lad?
Big thanks to Alan Howe there and to Shazza herself for a wonderful trip out around Hartlepool Bay. Now, we recorded a whole bunch of videos on that day. YTV series, we're going to be visiting different scenes that inspired different songs that we've written over the years. But unfortunately, we're coming to the end of our time with you.
We need a bit more money, I think, and the folk awards just aren't cutting it. So it's time to bring out the big dog now. It's time to. We're not talking about Rab again or Hudson. It's time to bring out the big guns. If the folk award isn't cutting it, I know what'll get us some money. I am selling my Bath Comedy Festival Love Honey Newcomer Award.
Look at that.
There we go. I mean, there it is. Now watch
Has it been sanitised?
Watch the money come through. Well, some of the jokes could have done with being sanitised, many people said. But there we go. Right.
Well done, David.
Thank you very much.
So
just a way of shoehorning in that I am available for stand-up. Thank you very much. Please save me from the young'uns.
Yes,
Save me from this cursed folk music nonsense. Unbelievable.
What's coming up next for us? Well, Michael, tomorrow we're actually doing our first live gig in 5 months, aren't we? Where's that?
Oh yeah, we're going to Suffolk. So Saturday, Sunday, folk used to doing a live event to people, as a sort of a small number of people.
I love the fact you say a live event to people, as if that's such a novelty. I suppose it is now.
Well, it is a novelty at the moment, yes. But it's also going to be live streamed tomorrow. On Saturday.
So you can hear the. I think you can hear the audio on Saturday and see the video on Sunday.
So if you want to find out more about that, go to folkeast.co.uk or they're on Facebook, Twitter. And we're doing a set on Saturday and Sunday about 7:30 or thereabouts.
Great. And
but not only have we conquered television, Kearney, we've also conquered radio. We're back on Radio 4.
Yeah, we're back on Radio 4.
Oh,
yes.
Excellent. So we're doing we're characters in the Archers. Very exciting indeed.
No, we're really excited to present our own documentary on Radio 4, BBC Radio 4, on the 10th of September. And it's called A Life in Song, and it's a documentary about songwriting, in particular about writing songs about real people and how they feel about it, and how we go about, we as people who've written lots of songs about real people.
It's a shame because one of the people isn't Joe. It's a massive shame because he would be great on the documentary, see how we've affected his business.
But usually, if you're familiar with our songs about real people, we take great care in doing them, and then we make sure they're right and they're ready, and then we take these great tender steps of approaching the people who the songs are written about and seeing what they think of it and the blessing. But the idea of this show was to actually approach someone before the song had been written and see if they wanted to be involved. And luckily, we've developed this wonderful relationship with a man from Northern Ireland called Richard Moore, who has an amazing story of forgiveness, and we've turned that into song. So if you want to see that, listen to that programme on Radio 4, and then later on BBC Sounds, it's on the 10th of September. But when's the next episode of
I think
YTV?
we're coming back on the 24th of September, and it's going to be a very special episode because I believe Andy is producing this. It's his anniversary with his partner Helen, so it's going to be a very special show. He could be celebrating with her, but instead he's here with us. So make it a special one, everyone.
We'd like to say a huge thank you to our two-person crew tonight. We've got Tim James on cameras, but
who came to the rescue between my legs earlier. Thank you very much, Tim.
And also, I know we've had a few technical difficulties that we are working on, but please do bear with us because we know more than you how much work Andy Bell, the wonderful Andy Bell, has put into this project of ours. He's been with us all the way, so we'd like to say a big thank you to Andy.
And we must reassure you as well that all of our tests went absolutely perfectly. So it's typical.
But also, Andy, we're gonna resync it, aren't we? Because I know there was a few issues with the audio and the video. So that'll all go up on YouTube.
We're going to resync it, and then this will probably get deleted, and it'll be like a collector's item, and it could bring some more money in. Oh, it's all very clever. Anyway.
But thank you to you if you've stuck with us, if you've donated. Thank you
for sticking with us.
Thank you so much. You still can donate whatever you can. Has that person donated the other 24
pence, £24.75 yet? I don't think so, but someone did donate £1 during my Jaws Grey's Electrical song. So
thank you very much. We realise it's such a difficult time for so many people. We really do appreciate you being with us tonight. So unfortunately, we have had another request for a jingle.
Well,
so to play us out,
someone else has paid £50.
On £50.
Yes,
okay, so who do I have to advertise this with today to say goodbye with? I hope it's going to be something nice.
Well, it's going to be something very short this time, David.
It is? All right.
This is by
take the hint there.
Rebecca Sheldon, and this is your challenge. She says, "Not a business." Okay. But any jingle.
Was that it? That's the challenge. Not a business. All right.
Not a business.
I'm going to advertise kumquats. Here we go. It could be words. It could be oranges. That'd be even harder to rhyme with. Anyway, what are you saying, Michael? Come on, get on with it. People have got lives.
Not a business, believe it or not. Still not a business. Right. But any jingle about Johnny and his black and white kitten called Maud would be charming.
Oh, lovely.
Excellent.
So
okay,
do you want to play us out with that, David?
I'll do my very best. Thank you very much, everybody, for tuning in.
It's Michael Jackson.
It sounds like Michael Jackson. It sounds like
what
about Johnny? I mean, really, it should be. I'm thinking about my kitten. It don't matter if it's black and white. That's what it should be, shouldn't it, with Michael Jackson there? But anyway, black and white kitten. Okay. I know, Johnny, you're smitten. I'm doing a different voice now. I can't do these in my own voice. Should we do Cockney again? Oh, Johnny, I know he's smitten with your black and white kitten. But, oh, Johnny, I hope you're not having a mope. I hope you're not bored. You're spending quality time with Maud. Oh, we'll fix this in the edit. Oh, Johnny. Oh, Johnny. It's time that we were gonny. In fact, that's all for me out. Oh.
Johnny made a chance.
Join in if you know it. Join in. Oh,
it could have been called Claude.
Great electrical compliance. Well worth the £50. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you so much, everybody.
As we think about that kitten, black and white, it's time to bid you all good night.